Right, well, I'm looking and I'm thinking, oh my God, the light in here is really dreadful. So please excuse how bad I look. Ego out of the way. It's the new moon, and I thought I would do a new moon reading, and some things all weekend have been coming through. So I want to do something like maybe look up some of these meanings that's been coming through. But first, let's just pull some cards for this new moon in Cancer. I'm going to go from my two favourite packs that I like to work with from Carl Gray, Gives the Light, and Angels and Ancestors. One feels very earthly to me. It feels like my ancestors and very connected in that sense. And the other feels more of like the higher dimensional realms, the star seeds and such. So what should we be aware of this new moon in Cancer that's in the highest good for those viewing, for myself? What do we need to know? What's relevant right now? Calling in and thanking my guides, my ancestry, my wisdom. So let's pull a couple from here. So we've got Hunter, White Witch and Traveller. The Hunter is track down your fears and your desires. Well, we know that our fears and our desires are interlinked, that we sometimes are actually afraid of our desires, where, for example, we desire food, then that brings up that fear of not having enough of food. It's the opposite spectrum to things, and it's also that fight or flight amygdala. Now, I'm really drawn to this picture, the tattoos, the symbols of light, the things we use of symbols, and the symbols that I've been seeing, the horns as well, how it's perceived as being the devil, the devil in the details, and the dark cave behind him. It's almost like we've just stepped out of the cave and we're in that, oh my God, we want to run back into the dark because the light feels so bright. And this is what is need here for us to keep that archer's bow he's holding, to keep that focus, that tension, like the crystalline stuff that shape you, your traumas, your childhood traumas, that on the mass scale of society. We need to keep that focused on where we want to go. Being new moon, we want our intentions to be set, but also that light that's coming in and how it's shifting things. We want to nurture that. Obviously, it's Cancer, new moon. It's like Be the Light is the next card, the White Witch. But she's also holding the owl, and the owl to me has always been a symbol of the fears and alarms. It's that sympathetic nervous system, resetting that nervous system. And again, she's got the pentacle we associate with witches, which is like the flat Merkaba, the spinning top and the bottom. It's getting that to rotate your own field, which you know in science and physics. We know lots more about that, and grounding with the earth. She's covered in luck. I'm seeing the leaves, the butterfly, which I've been seeing all weekend. I've been putting up on my my stories on Instagram, the butterfly and the transformation. Well, it's a 7-year and it's transformation year anyway, and we've had 7/7, and it's that stepping in to that where the owl is in her. She's holding him. He's not taking flight just yet, but he's there. It's also associated with our wisdom, our will, and the aspect of the White Witch. And it's kind of, to me, it's like seeing the devil in the details, seeing the symbols, the spiral on his skin, the tattoos. What are the marks that are left on our body? What are the physical things that are left from those fears and things that have been from being in that dark cave. And I don't see the cave as like, there's a reference, and I'm hearing in my mind Cave of Brahma, which is a reference to yogic practice, and inside the head, the pituitary gland. And I've been talking lots in our sessions with the Qigong in the morning about chanting and using the 6 healing sounds, and how when that resounds with our vagus nerve, we really feel it viscerally in our body, and it helps the inflammation to come down with studies. And they've looked at how they use these healing sounds and these vibrations and sound healing in Qigong and other forms of sound healing. The traveller is moving in the new direction, and that's where we're going. That's where we're heading. We're not in the same light as where we were 3 or 4 years ago, or even 3 or 4 months ago. I think in our own lives we're moving forward, but this is also the travelling gypsy lady, and she's the wise woman that travels, that speaks and sees and follows her heart. She follows where she's led by the heart, not by where she's told to go. And you think of that, the culture that we think about as gypsies, it's not like that at all. They get a lot of a bad rap, but they certainly don't play by the normal rules. And that theme is obviously coming up continuously with everything that we've pulled for the new earth. Let's pull 3 more. So this is where we've been, or sort of the start. The hunter is taking down those fears, those new desires are arising of what we want. Also, I'm seeing the stag and the deer there associated with the symbols, and there's part of me that's sort of saying, because I've been wanting to get another tattoo. I haven't had one since I was like 17. You can barely see mine, but on my back, and the significance of where I want it, what meridian, and like on the heart meridian, I was thinking about getting one. And this royal stag, the horns like a crown, and the crown chakra. And we happenstance upon a village that was actually called Ai, and up this tower, and I was seeing this as like reference. The tower is that which is destined. It's from the past, it's the old, that's falling down, it's crumbling. And then you've got the village, the eye, the third eye, the inner eye, and also that evil eye, like just putting up your boundaries, how you are right now, how you see yourself, and allowing in the meditation that I did in the chanting, not chanting, in the channeling, I don't like calling it channeling, in the sessions of expressing my soul, shall we say, we were guided through and to feel that silver and gold suit, and that masculine and feminine divine balance within us, and remembering that protection. But there's a sense of not needing to protect ourselves, because I don't think when you remember who you are and you put yourself back together, and you've got those past life memories coming in, and you're awakened being, that you actually feel the need to be protecting. It's more to be and hold your focus, so that you're not allowing those thought forms that are in your field to affect you. And I'm seeing Merkaba and traveling, dimensional jumping, traveling, sticks. The maps are changing as well. There's like, I'm seeing the map of the globe, and that's behind her, and it's not just the sense of traveling anywhere in your Merkaba, that you don't necessarily need to physically go, but if you are called to go and not just step into that new self out of the chrysalis, the butterfly has come out, it's been through the fighting, it's flying, just where does it want to fly to, and who does it want to be? And obviously this is that beginning, that new moon, that where are you heading? What direction? And this month is definitely, with all the nodal astrology going on, about like, what do you value? Who do you value? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? Who have you been? What have you learned? All of that stuff is coming up for us to look at. But as I said, I'm going to pull 3 more from this pack, I think, as well. The wise one is who we've become. We've moved out of the fears. We've tracked down those desires and fears, and we become the wise ones. We've grown with the current situation. And again, the owl is there, but it's got the moon over it, the new moon, and the wisdom and the feathers. 1 black, 1 white. So it's that yin and yang energy of the wisdom of the witch, the young mother, maiden, crone, becoming your queendom, becoming that embodiment of your own wisdom. The broken arrow is embracing the energy of peace. So to be the light and embrace the energy of peace in your relationships and in how we interact. Now, it doesn't mean that we agree with each other and we placate each other either, but it does mean that I'll keep that light on. It does mean that we hone that arrow in the direction that we want to go. I'm hearing, seeing the patterns of the old ones, the wise ones, feeling the wisdom within the stones, but also the stones flow from who we are, who we will be. Embracing that, cultivating that peace within the heart, within that beautiful Venusian Venus energy that we've got going on. Allowing that peace to be who you are, not just what you're wanting and what you're striving to be. It is your state of being. Embrace it, embrace that self. And the druid is hold that space, and hold that space for yourself. And a lot of us are holding that space for others. But again, he's got his staff. I'm feeling and reminding myself and you that the pneumatic staff that runs through us, it's that shaft of light that runs through all of the fields that we have, right up to level 15th, beyond to the creation energy, that is, although we perceive it sometimes in certain archetypal energy, it's that newness that we're moving into, like the Leo, the fire, that beginning. Hold the space within, go within, take time for you. And he has a snake, a winding river on his arm in this card, and I'm seeing that's the meridians, that's the lines of the soul, where and who you've been in this lifetime, or if you don't believe it, in past lifetimes, because we're clearing, a lot of us that are hearing this now, you're no stranger to all of this. You have been through and cleared most of this lifetime. We're working on previous lifetime, and a lot of us are definitely working with the Atlantean and the Mu time from at least 12,000 years ago, if not before, the 30,000 years ago. And our time and history, and I know I'm talking about esoteric contents that's like beyond what history mainstream references. Now, whether you think of it as being on this earth or interdimensionally on other realms and other times and space is irrelevant. You need to discern what's your truth, as to mine. But that collective awareness of those times, those periods, whether real or not, perceived reals or not, it's that collective joint beliefs and patterns about what happened as shifting as well. And I've spoken about this before. So I'm going to pull 3 more from this pack. So I'm going to do a 9 and 9 because I feel like working with Tesla at the moment is really important with those 369 codes, just as well as the 44, which I was seeing. I put a picture from my, like on a door, 4444. So the lady, the patterns, the apple, and the apple of the eye, the sun, and Christ feels very present, even though this card doesn't have him on it. Enjoy the growth and reap the rewards. In our growth, in our awakening, in our consciousness, we will reap the rewards of this. As we push through the fears, as we move beyond that, we can reap that reward in how we see that in our interactions and our personal relationships, as well as in financially. And financially, the fruits, these are low-hanging fruits. These are at the forefront, I think, of a lot of people's minds, but that will come from your patience and being connected, being more aware, because the High Priestess is harness the mystical powers of within. This is the Black Cat Guardian Order that I see playing the music and singing the light language from within. I feel that connection to the Egyptian lotus, to the dream world, and our connection to, we're dreaming into being this reality. That understanding now is coming forth. She's the priestess. She's stepping into her power, and it's no longer the flat, three-dimensional pentagon. It's a Merkaba that's above her. She's got that awareness of what that sacred geometry in her body means. Her own fields, your own understanding of how and what. I think we might have a visitor. So come here, and I can still see the cards. You can have a cuddle. So harnessing our powers, but the power of our growth, acceleration, our transformation. The Earth Mother is the next card, which is feel loved and comforted, which, oh, I feel loved and comforted. Do you feel loved and comforted? Baby, my furry babies. Yes, I love you. It's that, this, it's cuddles and comfort, that taurine-like energy, the earth itself. Where are you going? Oh, you're going now. We've had a little mummy cuddle. She is birthing. We're birthing the new earth. Literally birthing the new earth. And she's surrounded by butterflies, the transformation. The leaves are the new growth, the new shoots for this new moon. She's got those swirls, those tattoos, those spiraling interdimensional portals within the earth. And feeling that love and that connection creates those portals for us to each other in our pockets of who we're with. None of this is new news. I'm like, this is we know all this. But in the background, there's the symbol for the moon and the stars and the mother and the Celtic priestess with her hands, instead of just aloft, they're together, they're connected. They're that loop in a different way. We are recycling our energy. We are recycling that. And there's that sense. And I was re-listening to Autobiography of a Yogi, and there's an extract in there where he'd gone to visit in Europe one of the Saint Teresa's, and this saint in particular didn't need to eat. She had one little wafer-sized thing every day, and people were studying her. Scientists were studying her in Germany. She was German, and just amazed at her. They didn't want tourists visiting her, so they kept her away, but he, as a holy man, was allowed, and a man of God, was allowed to visit her. And it was that reminder, and like she says to him to reference the words from the Bible about how not surviving on bread alone. It's that the light will sustain you. How we view food and what we consume, and being in that sense of like, what? And you're probably thinking, what's she saying? What, you can just eat light? And I remember when I first heard that, I was like, really? And if you just think of it in terms of such high frequency, I'm not saying we're all meant to do this or that we're all going to do this, but there are people that have done this, that like the trees and the plants will consume that energy and that field. And that's what I'm seeing, that going out around the top, and it's recycling that energy. It's looking at our energy and how we put that energy into our body in a different way, how we consume, and how we utilize our own energy from what we're consuming. If we're higher frequency food, you feel a lot better, you have more energy. I mean, that's just, it goes without saying. Right, I'm going to move on to the other pack. Let's just put these ones out of the way so I can spread those out, because I'm feeling like I want to also look up, while I've got the computer in front of me, I want to look up the meaning of the tower as well in, let's see if I can get up on here. Just bear with me. Symbol. Oh, we need a Y in there. Dyslexia. Symbol. Right, this is just on a search engine. All I've put in: symbol meaning of a tower. It can be a stronghold and maybe a prison. The tower may signify ascent, and when it contains a virgin or a princess, might represent a walled garden, as in fairy tales such as Rapunzel, and science fiction such as Hawthorne's Something's Daughter in Christian, the Tower of Babel. Right, what straight away come to me when I was reading that is the fact, the walled garden, which means paradise. Paradise meant a walled garden in Mesopotamia, as well as the fact it mentions the word prison, and it's that stronghold. The tower is what's falling. It's the prison of our mind, our structures, that's falling. And the significance also in the fact that it's the virgin, the princess, our view of that is what is shifting, what that was, because I really feel that sense of Mary Magdalene and Christ, and the Christic meaning, and that what that means to many, and how that's seen or how that's been perceived shifting, and also like I said, the walled garden and the fairy tales, the Rapunzel, it's that on a pedestal and unreachable, it's we've got to get to it. Well, actually now that idea is falling down, because actually we do get to it through here rather than somewhere up there. And this linked with the meaning and my own understanding of what the meaning is, sort of call, protection, and the past, looping round to the new, the birth, the beginning, the eye and the third eye, and that's that symbol of eye, literally, that was coming over the weekend, and that transformation symbols of the butterfly and its meaning. What was the other thing I wanted to look up? I think it was just the tower. Symbol meaning of the tower. Let's in tarot. The tower is something interpreted as meaning danger, crisis, sudden change, destruction, higher learning. Now, higher learning and liberation is what I'm feeling is what's coming. And that destruction and crisis and change is what we're shifting. That's why it's sort of on fire in some of the pictures. Or it was a ruin that I was seeing, which symbolises that materialistic thought being brought cheap. The tower is associated with the planet Mars as well. Now Mars is my ruling planet, as Kat Capricorn sun sign, but I'm also a Leo rising, so this one's quite important for me. But yeah, the ancient world symbols like the Tower of Babel falling, these things, these structures we've built up, it's the foundation and the roots, and that's what I see shifting, that our roots, our values that we've held for a long time in our religions, in our society and in our politics are what is shifting. Right, and I'm going to shift, as I said, to these next cards. So, and I feel like this whole looking to the stars is seeing the stars, and the cosmic reference, the relevance is also, like I said, about the Mother Earth here, the portal, and the structure. I mean, just the science of understanding like the Schumann resonance and what's happening with the fields and the plasmic light as it's coming in is and heart math and our understanding of how things work together. Like, we thought a tree was just a tree, but a tree works with another tree. They talk to each other under the soil, talks to each other, and knowing all of that, our understanding of biology, everything is shifting. We all thought was separate is not, and that is kind of helping in the collective morphic fields for there to be an understanding and an inner knowing on a greater level. So what do we need to know in our higher perspective for the galactic understanding, our multidimensionality, that which is beyond the unseen, for this new moon in our highest good? Freya, phases and cycles. This is a cycle that we're in. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. So we're at the start of the golden age. That's been kind of foreseen for many years, but within the beginning we have to go through this ending, the ending of the old. That's what we're letting go of now. Whether that's in terms of the old systems and structures that aren't working, we can already see the new systems coming up and that they're already in place. If you look, if you're in that frequency, in that 5D, you see it. It's happening everywhere. Like I talk to people, random strangers, about stuff that you wouldn't even dare mention. And the guy, like, even at the National Trust, was talking and telling me how he sees things and we beings and stuff, and I was saying about the nexus points through time. It was just random conversations like that are the norm, certainly for me. And that's that phase and that cycle of where we did not talk about this stuff, it was too esoteric, has shifted, certainly for those that are viewing this. And I'm finding everywhere I go that there are bubbles of people, and that linking up, that understanding is just spiraling. Now, she's got the blackbird on her shoulder. It's that the warning, I think, is just that we're at that phase. Now, Freya she's got the full moon also. She's got clarity. She's dressed with braids, and it's that I'm hearing the weaving in to the hairs, weaving in to our understanding of how these cycles work. Where are the illusions? What is the illusion in where are you kidding yourself, basically, that you're not following your true core heart values is what's going to come up for you and me, and is coming up for me, believe me, over the next few month. Light activation, that's definitely happening daily for me now. And shine your light, your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. You know, just like I know, we all have that inner knowing, and we're revealing to ourselves what we maybe don't want to admit out loud. But this is a karmic, the finger of God, they call it in astrology, pushing you basically, as the influences of the energies in the astrology, is basically pushing you back on track, lighting us up. Mother Mary is love and peace. So shining the light of intent. Again, he's got his staff, he's got light language going on behind him, he's dressed in white, which is the mixture of all the colours together. I'm really drawn to the eyes as well in all three of these. Her eyes are like pools with those beautiful red roses, which I think I mentioned again in our this morning when I was going through the colours, and which was a bit random. I went to do a reading like this, didn't have my cards, and saw my balance cards there, and I felt really cool to share the colours with you, for you to utilise those colours, whether you're utilising in the creativity of this. It's really quite creative, Cancer. And let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. It's go beyond, oh look, I told you so. when certain things come out to light, let it go, because it's going to be hard enough when people are realizing what's going on and what's happened as it is, without going, well, I did tell you. That kind of thing. Let go of that, because that is the duality that we're moving out of. We're moving into the love and the peace and cultivating love and peace, and you can't do that if you're still going, well, this is what it was, and why has that not been rectified? And yes, we made mistakes in our learning and our understanding, but for a whole collective to wake up, that's why there are no mistakes. There are only divine wisdom. And as much as we don't want it to have to be certain things in order to come out of them, sometimes that, oh Jesus, cat, sometimes the crap, literally, we have to take the crap. Oh, it's part of the cycles. Oh my word. Gosh. And Kali, face the fears. Again, face the fears. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is a chance to soar. She says, I'm going to whiz through this bit quickly. Sarah Spate, in our ascension. Oh, that one, I want that one. That one, no. They're too heavy. They become really light when it's the right one. Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to love and do what is right for everyone involved. Offering a helping hand. Help out where you can, where it's needed in your community. That's part of the ascension. As we move into the true self and rise above the darkness, the light is here. It's everywhere. It's beautiful if you tap into it. And yes, there's some, there was some stuff that popped up on my Instagram feed, and I was like, oh, and it made me want to cry. And I don't choose to bury my head in the sand. I'm aware of what's going on. I've been aware when I asked, I was in a beautiful light worker group where they were sending healing to the crap that's going on, and some of the stuff that's in there was horrendous for what we were sending light to. And a lady had put it this way, she worked for Interpol, so there was some serious stuff in there. And I was wanting to discern early on with some of this stuff if that was really truth. So I asked for guidance and discernment for this, and that was 3 years ago. So I've come a long way in not allowing it to knock me off that heart and seeing from here and hold that frequency, and instead send love to the clearing of it, as opposed to seeing now it's all coming out and it's more in our face, rather than allowing that fear and sadness and grief over stuff that we all know has been happening. Look to how that's now shifting. Keep focusing on how okay, that's out, another bubbles burst. Now we can have that sorted. That's now going to be no longer in our frequency in this earth, in this planet. It's not for the highest good of humanity anymore. We are no longer standing for it. Across the board. Sorry, I can feel the passion in me wanting to go, because it definitely isn't. But because of the memory, when I asked for guidance, I was shown through let's just say a remote viewing of a CIA officer who had gone into a cell in somewhere in the Middle East, and all these young kids were, it was too late, they couldn't save them. But what they found, this man, this trained CIA officer, I was feeling the tears through him. But I know, rather than going, oh, I'm lowering my vibration, I was launching with him rockets of desire to never see that happen again. Our heart is certainly going to be opened, and our mind too, if people aren't not aware. As this is something that's happened in my childhood, it's something I'm very aware of. So I woke up to that early on. So I think a lot of it, it's not that we're not aware, we just don't want to admit we're in what they call dissonance, isn't it? Social dissonance. When someone says something, you don't want to believe that's true, because if that's true, it makes you feel uncomfortable. So you choose to believe that it's not true, even though the evidence is all pointing to the contrary. And that, I think, that is the lesson for us all, as learning to discern, to go up. Those sudden crises and changes are what are in destruction, and that's the higher learning. The liberating side of it is that we are liberating from that sense of freedom, and the mother energy, that fierce mother and wanting to protect, is what I'm seeing. And in all of us, and needing to protect that side of us, maybe. So if you're being triggered, the meditation that I did today is about like leaning into that and clearing that, so that you can feel that you don't necessarily need to be protected, because you are naturally protected. So one more of the 3 more on this, one more layer, I mean. So what is the outcome of our awareness, of our consciousness? Magic manifesting with Isis. Your dreams, visions and goals are becoming your reality. Your inner strength with Bridget, holding that flame, that of fire and hope and love and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth and choose loving thoughts. Choose them daily. Choose them hourly if you need to. You might see some newsroom go, oh, and go, hang on a minute, I'm just running anxiety like I used to at 16. Go, Louise, oh, I'm just running anxiety about that. Oh, I've gone down a notch. I can feel those thought forms and that energy of that attachment to all of that energy. I'm going to clear that and instead send healing and love to that, in the knowing that that's going to be shifted, and that love and that acceptance of it as it is, to be here, to be cleared. That inner strength, that core strength, we've got that sword. We can cut those cords within the morphic field now. They're gone in actual fact. It's just now the process of doing that. They've already been lifted. You can feel it if you tune into it. And the manifesting magic, your dreams, your visions, your goals, and you're becoming the reality. So stay that reality, stay that course, keep that for you and yourself. So thank you. This is your new moon. And I'd just like to finish with a little mini guided meditation. And for this new moon, obviously you've got the longer meditation and you've got this longer reading, but just for this purposes of this new moon, just to connect. Let's focus. Let's bring in that Isis energy, that Bridget energy, and weave with our reality and our sense of community the hope, the love, and the acceptance. Feel the fire, feel the my red-headed mother, I can feel behind me, that mother energy, that I'm looking at Bridget and seeing my own mother, who was a fiery red-headed Scottish woman, dressed in the green of the heart, and seeing those Celtic symbols, the Celtic stones, that going back to basics, going back to nature, going back to that reverence with our earth, and actually giving about it and realizing how magnificent this planet is that we live on, and its place in the cosmos, and manifesting the magic that we have. These ancient teachings are everywhere. Dreams and visions, and hold the vision. Close your eyes down. I know I'm going to close my nose. Breathe in. And hold. And I'm just going to express the triple warmer sound, the healing sound that works with our vagus nerve. I can feel my heart. Feel the heartbeat. Feel connected in this moment. Just breathing in, breathing out. Visualize your intention for this new moon. What is it? Who is it that you are? Your values. If you don't know, just visualize yourself laughing and enjoy and happy, because that's what we all want after all at the end of the day. That Venus energy, that love, but more than the Eros love, the love of true self-love, knowing that you are enough. And that spiritual love, that divine love, that connection that is beyond the masculine and the feminine divine being, core essence of you, the twin flame. The coming together of not just lovers and couples, but relationships at all levels, of mother and child, of son, daughter, caring, nurturing each other and our growth and our learning. And just like a mother, you don't talk to yourself in a horrible way. You don't. I always I can hear the words of Abraham Hicks going, you don't say, get up, you little dummy, when they fall over and they're trying to walk. You encourage them, and that's that higher goddess coming through to encourage us to keep going. We're doing well. We've learned from everything. Without it, we wouldn't know what we don't want, to move beyond it, to see what it is you value in that. Don't go inside in a fear. The crab can go in its shell. You want to go and within the shell, to retreat when you need to from the world, from that 3D stuff that's everywhere, like vibrational mud. Instead, stay in the shell. Know that you've got a shell, but it's not so much a shield, it's a filter. You can still breathe in the love and breathe out through all the fields. And see that for the people you care about, doing things they love, and the light. Be the light from the inside out, like a golden flower of hope, like the lotus rise above the crap and the crap. The smell is the essence of it everywhere. Rise above it, bloom like your lotus, your flower that you are. Thank you for joining me. My love, my blessings. Have a beautiful new moon, or new week, new month, new day, whenever you're viewing this. It'll be relevant for you. Let me know if it is. Take care.